Hello everyone and welcome to VTR Customs in Switzerland. We had 2 weeks in back we had a short preview presentation about our 6 new custom bikes. So we had several comments. Number one was we like the bikes, we don't have a single clue what you are talking about, so that's why we have it now in 3 different languages. Number 2 comment was you will never make it within 2 weeks to finish them. So the good news is A, you got your language, B, all the 6 bikes are finished, and that's what we're gonna present to you by today, our 6 new custom bikes. And the first bike I'd like to start is the one you probably have already seen because it was the first bike already finished 2 weeks in advance. So as mentioned, that's our first R9T Scrambler. We have customized a bit more than having just short tails and other exhaust systems on it. And I think you will immediately see what the topic of the bike was. The basic design is back in the 80s, off-road motocross, 80 years, because I grew up at that time riding motocross races and you had to have golden wheels at that time. And I'm pretty sure you have an idea about what Le Touquet means. That's probably the most challenging beach race in France, and that's why we have named this bike after that race. And since it's on a beach, we have a special color scheme painted. We decided to have a baby blue with the ivory white scheme, which had a very good effect. We have already shown the bike on a first show in Zurich at the Men's World, and astonishingly enough, we had a lot of ladies who liked the bike just because of the paint scheme. So if you look to the tail of the bike, we really love to have this really motocross look, and that's why we have quite a radical tail. It's from Unit Garage, our supplier from Italy. Also side bags from Unit Garage, and since we are Swiss watchmakers, we'd like to have all the details right. So we organized the textile from Unit to have the seat covered in the same textile. And of course all the Swiss-made details. We really like to have a proper paint job and to have names and so on handwritten or painted. If you look to the front side of the bike, the old motocross guys from you will immediately recognize the front fender. That's made in alloy like on the old Husqvarnas, and for sure on the Husqvarnas you had to have this flapper here to avoid dirt in your face, and of course you had to have this strengthening of the front fender. And if you're into rally, for sure you have to have a Hella additional light on the side, and since we are VTR Custom, just the Hella is not enough. We cut the name of Hella out of the cover, and of course we have yellow foil on the headlight. And the last little detail I'd like to show you is the number plate on the front, also handmade by us. And it has number 42. If you have a closer look, you see an Italian name, Fabio Marcancini. He's the owner of Unit Garage, and he finished Paris-Dakar Rally on the motorbike several times. Number 42 was his number when he finished the first time. So in honor to Fabio, our friend in Italy, the bike does have his number plate on the front. Bike number 1 finished to the detail. Next bike I'd like to show you is of course again a BMW, since we are a BMW dealership. The bike is called Hyde Park, after the park in London, and as you can see we have typical English color scheme, so that's more or less the color you had on the very first Range Rovers and Land Rover Defenders at that time. For sure we have red and blue for the British flag, and pretty sure we had to have this original kilt fabric here as a seat cover. And since the bike does also have the topic picnic, people who know us, they'll know that we like to have details. So we have a picnic kit on the bike. You have a blanket to go picnicking. You have, of course, a Stanley schnapps bottle, a little one. You have a knife with a bottle opener, and since we love cigars, for sure you have also a Zippo lighter. And if you can show the line from behind, that's probably the most tiniest, smallest and shortest tail you can have on an R80 RT. The gas tank, we'd like to have a cleaner look and a smaller look. It's an old Honda CB250, of course custom cutted to fit the bike. In our opinion, very classy, slim and clean coffee racer called Hyde Park, bike number 2. Next bike in the lineup is a Japanese bike. Every year one of the plans is to have one Japanese bike customized by us. This time we have decided for a Kawasaki Z750 Zephyr. And when we do Japanese bike, we'd like really to have a mixture of BMW and a mixture of style, a really strange and backyard built, ugly but funny bike. So we like always to play with the name of our key brand, BMW. That's the original Kawasaki lettering, but it says BMW, which is BMW for you guys. And of course we have a lot of handwritten funny items we'd like to show on the bike. The BMW people do immediately recognize a BMW front fairing. That's an original one from the K100 RS on a Kawasaki. That's why the bike does have the name Mukakita. MUC is the short lettering for Munich Airport. Akita is a Japanese airport. So in order to have this mixture also on the name of the bike, it's called Mukakita. On the front, it looks like a Le Mans long-range race bike. On the tail, it looks like an off-road dirt bike. And in the middle, it looks like VTR custom funny style. Mukakita Kawasaki Z750 Zephyr, we think a very funny and nice bike. Bike number 3. Then let's go back to BMW, a classy one again, pretty similar to Hyde Park we have seen just before. It is actually our very first flat tracker we have built. And here we are. That's our BMW R75-7. That's why the bike is called Flachkopf 7. Flachkopf is the German translation of flathead, and we call them flatty, the flat track bikes, but since it's a Bavarian, it's called Flachkopf 7. Again, as on the Hyde Park, we'd like to have a very, very clean and small and tiny look. So another gas tank from another bike, originally was from a small Kawasaki 125, of course custom cutted. We have a gas indication. We like to make funny things also on the nice bikes, yep, and flat, because it's a flat tracker. Handmade flat aluminium tail, of course flat tracker wheels, handmade tail. For sure we are Swiss, we like to have the best parts on the bike, so we have Öhlins shock absorbers on the rear. And we have handmade by us 2-in-2 exhaust system, classy flat tracker one, all on the one side. If you look to the handlebar, strip down everything which is not necessary, but the bike is street legal in Switzerland. So we have Magura pumps, we have a very clean look on the handlebar. We have a number plate at the front, and the lights, even though they are Swiss street legal. The color scheme also classy one, dark red with ivory white, and of course again handwriting on the gas tank, hand lines on the gas tank, so that's all handmade by us. The first, and I think a very, very clean flat tracker. Bike number 4. Bike number 5. Most of you probably have seen our very successful bike last year, an R1200R water-cooled. It was called Goodwood 12. We have been on many magazines and pages with that bike, and we raced on the Essenza class, and as a pilot we have a very, very attractive and very fast lady. It's called Amelie Moseder, and Amy, this is your new friend, so we decided to build a new bike for the Essenza class, and we knew from the beginning that we had to spend even more time than on the Goodwood. I think if you are US, you immediately recognize why the bike is called Eddie 21, because Eddie Lawson back in the 80s, he raced Superbike Championship with the Kawasaki, with the high handlebar, big number plate on the front, so that's the Donner idea, so to speak. On top of the Goodwood, this time we have decided to even touch airbox and gas tank. This is handmade by us, of course, in aluminium, both of the parts. Then we had to have the speedo and RPM indicator away from the handlebar, so we have integrated in the gas tank, and I'm a watch collector, so we have customized faces and hands on the speedometer. And one of the funny items, Amy, always before she starts the race, she's painting her lips, so it was always a bit of disturbances where to get a mirror. So Amy, that's the special tool for you. I promised you don't have to look around, so this is the mirror for you to paint your lips before the race. And since it's a race bike, of course, the most expensive and most precise pumps on the handlebar, and in order to give clear indications, even if you're nervous, Amy, we have an indication on the gas wiring. If you go down, you fast like a rabbit. If you leave it to the other side, you slow like a turtle. If we go more backwards on the bike, of course you recognize a Kawasaki-shaped tail, also handmade in alloy, very, very tiny and small tail. Light integrated, of course, again, Öhlins shock absorber. We have Kineo wheels, and we have a handmade exhaust system, which is very, very, very noisy. You will hear that bike in Glemsec. We raced that in Glemsec, and as well in Montlhéry, that's south of France, for the first time. So it's our answer to the Superbike Championship bike with the Boxer engine. Bike number 5. And the very last bike is a pretty extensive one. I shortly explain the story. We are here at the Lake of Zurich. Just about a 30 minutes drive away from you, you will find a company called Bösch Motorboote. They do handmade wooden boats. And so on a marketing event, we had the chance to show our handcraftsmanship, building alloy fairings, and we were very impressed about their handcraftsmanship, building out of a piece of wood a beautiful wooden boat. So it was very, very clear at the same moment that we're going to build a bike with that topic and with the name of Bosch. And here we are, probably the most, for sure, the most expensive K100 BMW we have ever built. And I would say one of the more impressive K custom bikes on the market you have seen. So the basic idea was to have a very low, very tiny, flat line, like a torpedo, classy line. And of course, since it's a classy bike, we decided to have a dark blue color, a classy one. We have alloy pieces, all handmade by us. We have ivory white lines, hand line, painted by Johanna Vogelsang. And we have from old Bosch boats from the 70s. These are the original switches to switch de-icing system on or windscreen wipers. And something we are very, very proud is the wooden work here. So this is not painted by an airbrusher. This is not a foil with some wooden applications on it. This is real wood, handmade, custom made for this bike only. Domenic, one of the boat builders at Bosch, did this in several weeks of time to build this only for our freaky bike. And of course, if you have handmade alloy parts, there is nothing in the right angle, there is nothing really flat. So I'm pretty sure he's going to kill me once he sees me again. But he did a great job on having real wood application on a BMW K100. And of course, you see handwritten pieces. The bike is called Bosch 110 because if you measure a boat by feet, they are always 760s, 610s, 710s. So we decided to call this bike Bosch 110, and of course also hand painted, tail handmade, covering handmade, and a very low and clean and vintage look. So we are very, very proud of that bike too. So, if I counted right, there were 6 brand new bikes and there is no Photoshop and nothing manipulated, right, André? They are real bikes you're gonna see in 2 weeks' time at the Swiss Moto exhibition. I'd like to answer your question you might have via Facebook, and for sure you're going to see the bikes in Glemsek and also on other vintage meetings all over Europe and probably also on some exhibitions around Europe. So this was the English channel. I hope you forgive me my Swiss accent, but so we can cover people who like our work from abroad. We do that more frequently, I promise. And glad you joined us here, and hopefully you're going to see the bikes live. They are really amazing. We're very, very proud. Thanks for joining us, and see you soon on another occasion on Facebook with our company, VTR Customs. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye. Tschüss.